Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. So it's VIB time and I'm here to share with you all of my recommendations. I have a vast variety of things to speak about today. I have skincare, body care, fragrances, and of course a whole lot of makeup. I tried to cut this list down, but I simply couldn't. If anything, I wanted to add more. So I'll put up the sale dates and all of the information on screen here and in the description. So you have all of the information available here. But before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. So let's first talk skincare, and the most important step is obviously SPF. I have 3 here to talk about, and they're all by Supergoop. I talk about these ones all the time, but these are hands down my all-time favorite SPFs. They've really helped me in my acne journey. I feel like I was always a bit nervous around SPFs because I found that they would make my situation worse, but these ones have helped me heal my skin. I also use a few of them as makeup primers as well. The first one here is the Supergoop Glow Screen. This is one that I love using under makeup. It just adds a healthy glow to your base without looking greasy, and it also protects you, obviously. The next one here is the one that I use on the everyday lately, and that is the Unseen Sunscreen. It just blurs out my skin as well, acts as a softening primer. I have found that this one wears the best underneath of makeup. It doesn't react weirdly with anything that goes on top. And the one that I think a majority of people will really enjoy is the Supergoop Play. This one is just like a classic SPF. It doesn't leave a white cast, it sinks right in, and it has a thinner consistency, so it's very spreadable. This is an empty right here, so I am going to be repurchasing it this sale. I try a lot of SPFs, and hands down, these ones are the best. Now I wanted to talk about something else that saved my skin, and it also has it in its name, but this is the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I spray it on before I apply any makeup, and I also apply it as my first step in my night routine, and this has cut down the amount of acne I get. Ever since I introduced this into my skincare routine, it really helped to calm down my angry skin. And they also came out with a huge bottle of this for the holidays, which I will be purchasing for sure. I owe a lot to this stuff, that's for sure. In the last couple months, I stayed away from exfoliants just because I was over exfoliating my skin, which was leading to even more breakouts, but I've been dipping my toes back in, and one that I found that I really enjoy is this one from Youth to the People. It's the Mandelic Acid and Superfood Unity Exfoliant. It's super gentle. I think that's why I enjoy it so much, and I've cut down my usage. I only use it 2 to 3 times a week. It has 3% AHA, 2% BHA, and 1% PHA. So it really helps to brighten up my skin, bring out the inner glow, and just help my skin stay smooth in general. Whenever I use this, I wake up with really nice, dewy, glowy looking skin. It's truly been a game changer for me and my skin. Next up, let's talk moisturizers. So my go-to daily moisturizer of late has been the Caudalie Venosource Hydra SOS Intense Moisturizing Cream. Oh, this is the second product that has SOS in it. But anyways, this is fantastic. I love how hydrating this one is. It's a very rich feeling cream, but it doesn't feel heavy once it's applied onto your skin. It sinks right in, leaves you perfectly moisturized, and it also wears beautifully under makeup. It doesn't get greasy throughout the day. This is my go-to day moisturizer for the fall and winter time. And one of my go-to night moisturizers is also by Caudalie, and I've talked about this so much, but it's the Veno Perfect Brightening Glycolic Night Cream. This stuff is amazing. I sadly had to repurchase this before the sale because I ran out and my skin needs this stuff, but I love glycolic acid. It really helps to brighten up my acne scars and overall makes my skin look clearer and brighter. Plus, I love how luxurious this cream is. It's very thick, but it spreads so easily. It almost like melts when you're applying it. So you only need a touch of this and it goes a very long way. This is probably my 8th tub of this. I might as well just repurchase another one to have on hand. I just can't go without this one. But my other nighttime cream, if I don't want to wear any acids, is this one right here from Youth to the People. It's the Adaptogen Deep Moisture Cream. I look at this cream kind of like my reset cream, especially if I have dehydrated skin. It just rehydrates it overnight and I wake up with dewy, beautiful, moisturized skin every time. I adore this one. I had to mention it. But now I have a couple lip balms to talk about since we're heading into the winter time over here and I need a lip balm at all times on my lips. I'm actually wearing one right now, and it's the Belief Aqua Bomb Overnight Lip Mask. I kind of use this more in the daytime. I just love this consistency, and I also like its finish. Sometimes, like today, if my lips are feeling a bit dry, I'll put it over top of my lipstick, and it also adds a beautiful kind of glossy glow. But this one is deeply hydrating, and it fixes my chapped lips within 2 days. It's phenomenal, and I love this one's packaging, just as a side note, because the lid, when you take it off, looks like a teeny top hat, and it's very, very cute. But I have one of these in my office and one of them on my nightstand. But another one that I love deeply is this one from Lanolips. It's the 101 ointment. I have two here. This one right here is my favorite because it's minty, but they also have one that's unscented or unflavored rather. And this stuff is fun because you can apply it to other areas as well, wherever you're feeling chapped, whether it's on your hands, your elbows. I mostly use these on my lips. These have replaced my love for the Bite Beauty lip mask, the original formula. I have one of these living in my purse at all time. I basically have one of these in every room in my house in the wintertime because I simply cannot go without lip chap. So now let's move on to body care. I wanted to first talk about the First Aid Beauty KP Bump Eraser. This stuff is phenomenal. If you have the little bumps on the back of your arms or on your legs, it just simply erases them. It has 10% AHA, and it also is physically exfoliant, so you step out of the shower all nice and smooth. Ever since this entered my life, it's made a huge difference, and I've put so many people onto this stuff. It's truly one of those miracle products, and it will forever be in my shower routine. And I also wanted to recommend this body moisturizer. I try so many body creams and I don't really have like a simple favorite, but this one's interesting. It's from Josie Maran and it's the Pro Retinol Body Butter. I love how there's retinol in this one, so I use this one at night and I wake up with really smooth, even skin. And I also adore its consistency because a little bit goes a long way. It just glides over your skin very quickly and it doesn't leave you feeling slippery or greasy at all. It sinks right in and leaves you feeling perfectly moisturized. And these two products on my arms make such a huge difference. I've never had arms so smooth. I've always had KP on the back of my arms, but ever since I started using those two products together, I've been the smoothest lady. So now I'm going to be talking about my 3 go-to fragrances. These are the only ones I wear, and I wear them year-round. They're all warm and spicy, and that might seem weird to a lot of people. I know some people like switching up their fragrances year-round, but I think they suit my personality. I would describe myself as warm and spicy. Yeah, I do have quite a few perfumes in my collection, but a majority of them were sent to me NPR, so some of them don't really suit me, but I have purchased all of the ones I'm going to be talking about, and I even purchased them multiple times. So the first one is the Replica by The Fireplace. This is the first perfume that I ever enjoyed. Before I found this one, I was never a perfume lady. Also, you guys, just as a side note, I'm terrible at describing scents. I think that is a big reason why I lost my job at Shoppers Drug Mart many years ago. Okay, so I pulled up Sephora here to help me out a little. Yeah, so the keynotes of this one is clove oil, chestnut accord, and vanilla accord. It has a smokiness to it that is so beautiful, and it really stays around. Like whenever I walk into my closet, this is what my clothes smell like, and it's always a delightful experience walking in there. I think this is one of the sweeter ones out of the 3 I'm going to be talking about today. It's just so good. This is the second one I have, but I already have backup of it because I cannot go without that one. So if you wanted to know what I smell like 90% of the time, it's this right here. The second one I wanted to talk about is another one from Replica, and it is Coffee Break. This one is the newest one out of the 3 I'm going to be talking about. I purchased this pretty much at the beginning of the season, or maybe in August, I think. But I find this one to be very similar to By the Fireplace, but a little bit different. This one doesn't smell as sweet. It has a bit more depth and mystery to it. It says here that the key notes are coffee accord, lavender, and milk mousse accord. So maybe it's that lavender that adds like a little twist that you don't expect. But all in all, I think it's very mysterious and it does really put you in a coffee shop. Love it. And the last fragrance I'm going to be talking about is the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This is my go-to if I want to smell like a mysterious lady. It's just so deep and rich. It just smells so good. It's like a twist on a classic vanilla perfume. It doesn't smell sweet at all. It says here that the key notes are tobacco leaf, vanilla, and ginger. I think it's that ginger that really throws it off. But whenever I wear this one, I get the most compliments and people ask me what the heck I'm wearing all the time. This one costs a pretty penny, so it's the perfect time to save a little bit of money. This is a fragrance that I was hesitant on buying for years. It was always floating in and out of my Sephora cart, but last year I finally bit the bullet and I'm so happy that I did, because you only need a spritz and it'll stay around all day and it stays on your clothes for so long. It's super high quality. It stays around forever. It's just such a love of mine. Okay, it's finally time to talk about the bulk of this video, which is all the makeup recommendations I have. I'm also going to mention some of the holiday sets that Sephora is offering this holiday season. There's a few that have really caught my eye. I'm usually not a super fan of the sets, but there's a few that I think are very, very worth it this time around. Anyways, let's get into the makeup products. I'm first going to be talking about primers. I have 3 here, kind of to fit anyone's preferences. So the first one is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. This one will adhere your makeup to your face all day. It's my favorite for longevity. It makes such a difference. And it's my go-to if I'm going to be going on tropical vacations or if I'm going to be visiting somewhere more humid. And the next primer here is the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. This is my go-to if I want to soften out my skin before foundation. It just blurs out my pores so nicely and makes my skin look like there's a soft focus glow all over it. It's a great one to turn to if you want a smoother base. It's a really great one to go to if you're experiencing a lot of texture, like me a couple months ago when I was healing from my acne. It really helps to draw out the attention from those areas. And the last primer I wanted to mention is this one from Iconic London. It's the Radiance Booster, and you can use this in a multitude of ways. I'm actually using it as my highlighter today, but you can use this underneath your makeup for an added glow. This has completely replaced my love for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. It just wears better on my skin type. It doesn't break me out like the Charlotte Tilbury one does. And I do prefer its finish and glow. It has such a fine pearl and it has a balmier consistency as well, so it just blends out within seconds, but it stays put. It doesn't move around and get all weird throughout the day. It works well with all of the foundations I've used on top of this or underneath of it. It just works. But now let's move on to my go-to foundation. So the first one here is the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. This has outbeat my love for any other foundations I have in my collection. It's the one I'm wearing on my skin today. I just love how this one looks kind of like a tinted moisturizer on your skin, but it has a bunch of coverage. It just is so thin for the amount of coverage that you get. It's very hydrating feeling without looking greasy throughout the day. It wears phenomenally. It just works so well. It's super easy to apply and blend out. It's hassle-free, it's reliable, it has an incredible shade range. I've had this in my collection for a couple months now and I can confidently say that this is the best foundation I've ever tried, and that's high praise. That's very, very high praise. I don't think there's much more to add after that statement, but it's truly the best. I also wanted to recommend a tinted moisturizer for you guys, and this is my #1 favorite. I also think it's very unique, but it is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Alluring Skin Tint. This one is fantastic. I love its finish because it gives a soft matte look, so it really diffuses and blurs out your skin, and it's also extremely long wearing. It looks the same throughout your wear time. It combines very nicely with all of the other products you use on top of it or underneath of it, and if you do enjoy more of a glowy look, you can make this glowy very, very easily. This one is also super quick to apply. You can apply it with your fingertips or a brush or a sponge, and it looks amazing every time. This is my holy grail tinted moisturizer, and I feel like I've talked your guys' ears off about this stuff for long enough on my channel here, so I'm just going to move on. You already know what's up. So now for concealer, I have 3 to talk about. I have something for each coverage level, something light, something medium, something full. So my favorite light coverage concealer is the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix. This is my go-to on the everyday if I'm doing a lighter makeup look or no makeup look, or if I'm not even wearing anything and I just want to brighten up my under eyes. They're looking a little deep. It's my favorite. It's very sheer, but it corrects your under eyes in a unique way. It adds a really nice bright filter, which allows the darkness to still shine through in a way, but you still look awake. I've used this so many times on my channel. I also think that this one is kind of polarizing. I know a lot of people will either hate this or love this, but I needed to include this one because I truly love it and use it all the time. So now talking about my medium coverage concealer, it's the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This one's actually more of a unique concealer. It can either look like an eye tint or a full coverage concealer depending on how you apply it and how much you apply, but no matter how much you apply, it still looks very natural and seamless. And this consistency is unlike any other concealer I've tried. It's like a hydrating gel. It truly just feels like a cream. I would consider this one of my miracle products. I just adore this stuff through and through. I have so many shades in my collection just so I can wear it at any time of the year, no matter where my skin tone is at. It's also not fussy at all. You can apply it with your fingertips, a sponge, a brush, and it looks phenomenal every time. And the last concealer I wanted to recommend is this one from Lancome. It's the All Over Concealer. It is so good. This is the concealer I'm wearing under my eyes today. This is now my all-time favorite full coverage concealer. Although that this one is still kind of brand new to my collection, it has impressed me so much. I get taken aback every time I use it because it's just so different from other full coverage concealers I've tried in the past. It just has such a thin, watery texture that packs so much coverage and it blends out within seconds. So I highly recommend this one. Now I have a couple of setting powders to talk about. So of course, this one had to be in this video. It's the Pat McGrath Labs Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is something I use pretty much on the daily. It's just phenomenal for under the eyes. It works with every concealer. It truly blurs everything out but keeps your under eyes perfectly set. It's just incredible. An all over face powder that I love is the Kosas Cloud Set. I also really enjoy this one under the eye, but this one is my go-to to set the majority of my face because it doesn't cut all of the shine. It still allows you to look glowy, but it just blurs everything out. I've had this in my collection for quite a while now and my love just keeps growing and growing for this one. I now prefer this one over the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I just think that this one wears a lot better throughout the day and it lasts a lot longer. Wow, that's the second Charlotte Tilbury product that I kind of dunk on in this video. My bad, but it's just the truth. I love this stuff. But I also wanted to mention one more. If you don't want any pearls in your powder at all, you just want a simple, nice blurring setting powder, this one's fantastic. And it is the LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. It's made it into my circulation of powders. I kind of go in between these two these days, so I had to mention this one. Plus this is a fantastic match for the Triple Fix foundation. They're just a match made in heaven. So now I have a couple of setting sprays I wanted to mention. So the first one is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. This is my favorite for longevity. It really sets down your makeup, and if you sandwich these two products together, your makeup is going to stay on for days. This one's really refreshing feeling as well, and the mist is super fine. And the other one I wanted to mention is the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Setting Spray. I like this one if my skin is looking a bit dry or I added way too much powder. This is my favorite to reach for to kind of rehydrate everything and make everything melt together and look like one. And it also is a spa experience every time. This one's smell is unbeatable. It smells so nice. It's refreshing and relaxing and hydrating. Lately I have been reaching for this one over my MAC Fix Plus, which is shocking. And this one's spritz is also very fine. Now let's talk bronzers. I have 3 to talk about, kind of 3 to suit whatever your preferences are. The first one here is the LYS No Limits Matte Bronzer, and this has become my favorite kind of simple matte bronzer. There's nothing crazy unique about it. It just works. This is the one I'm wearing on my face today. I really like its tone. It's very warm but neutral at the same time. It doesn't look too red or orange or yellow. It's just a perfect mix of everything, and its formula is very easy to diffuse and apply. It's kind of the same formula as their setting powder, so it has that blurring aspect to it as well. Did it sound like I said aspect? Aspect. Oh, water break. Now I completely lost my train of thought. This one kind of reminds me of the Ilia bronzer, the Benefit Hoola bronzer, but I just prefer this one's shade and blendability. The next one is fantastic for no makeup days, and it is the Huda Beauty Glowish bronzer. I've completely fallen in love with this one. I also love how it looks in the pan, all marbled like that. It's really, really fun. This is a beautiful sheer luminous bronzer, so it adds a subtle luminosity to your cheeks without looking glittery or too pearlescent. It just makes it look skin-like. It's my favorite to go to if I'm in a rush and I don't want my bronzer to look streaky or weird, nor do I want any harsh edges. This one looks diffused immediately, no matter how sloppily you apply it. It's amazing. And the last bronzer and contour I wanted to mention is the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. This is one of my holy grail products. You just get everything that you need in one component. I love using either formula on its own, or I like to layer them as well if I want more of a full glam appearance. And it's also a really great formula because they can look really sheer, or you can build them up for a super sculpted look as well. So this is a great all-in-one product. This is something that I would repurchase immediately if everything went up in flames or if I lost my entire collection for some reason. So now let's move on to highlighter. I actually only have one here to recommend, and it's the Melt Cosmetics Sex Foil Digital Liquid Highlight. My favorite shade is Stargazer, which is kind of shocking because it looks kind of like a pinky highlighter, but its base is kind of the perfect shade for my skin tone. It just sinks right in and looks see-through. And this one's Reflect is a beautiful warm nude gold. This is now my all-time favorite liquid highlighter. It's just so easy to use and apply. It sinks right into your base and looks very natural. The pearls are so fine. You can't even detect them once they're on your cheekbones. It just looks like you have naturally crazy, radiant, glowy, dewy skin. And I love it for that reason. So now let's move on to blush, and this was a really hard category to narrow down, but I did just upload my favorite autumn blush video, so I'll link that one down below if you want to see more of my favorite blushes and see most of these in action, but I had to mention a few of them nonetheless. One that I did forget to mention in that video, which kind of broke my heart, is the Rare Beauty Melting Blushes. My favorite shade is Nearly Neutral. It's one of my all-time favorite blushes in general. I wear it year-round. It always looks like a natural kind of sun-kissed blush, and I love this one's texture and finish. First of all, the packaging is just so freaking cute. I just want to eat it most times. I don't know why. It looks so appealing. Maybe like a little cookie or like mochi? Maybe it looks like a little mochi. I think that's why. But anyways, this texture is so beautiful. It truly melts on contact, but once it's blended out on your cheeks, it sets to this powdery finish, so it lasts so well throughout the day. It's one of the best long-wearing cream blushes I have in my collection, so I had to mention them. My three favorite shades are, of course, Nearly Neutral, Nearly Rose, which is this really fun pink one, and Nearly Apricot, which is like a peachy color. So cute. Love them all. I've been mentioning this blush too much on my channel recently. It's the Rose Ink Foxglove Lip and Cheek color. I've mentioned this in so many of my recent videos. I feel like I've said all of the things I could ever possibly say about this blush in my last like 5 videos, but I am going to be purchasing more this sale. I'll quickly mention the shades that I'm going to be purchasing. I'm going to be getting Dahlia, Heliotrope, and Anemone. Sea Anemone. I always have to say C in front of Anemone, else it doesn't sound right. It's such a weird word, but those are the 3 shades I'm going to be picking up as well. These ones are incredibly easy to apply. The finish is beautiful. They're glowy, but not too much. They have great pigmentation. It just has everything I love and look for in a cream blush. Beautiful, 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 Beautiful. Another one I had to re-mention are these ones from NARS. It's the Air Matte blushes. These are so nice and unique. They feel like a little pot of marshmallow fluff. You can really see it in this one. I recently got a couple more shades, but you can see in here how it has like a little frothy, velvety texture to it. It almost feels like an Aero bar, like the Aero chocolate. When it's melting, you can feel all those little bubbles. It feels exactly like that when you're swatching this product, but this is great if you want more of a smooth appearance to your cheeks. It just diffuses everything and makes your skin look very soft, but it adds such a cute veil of color, and they always just look very fresh and natural. My two favorite shades are Hushed and Gasp, but I recently got a few other colors, but I haven't yet put them on my cheeks. And now we're gonna be talking about the last blush. I know, I only mentioned like, what, 10? These are the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blushes. Sorry, my camera was about to die, but I have two of the duos here. I have She's So LA and Do We Know Her. My favorite is She's So LA. It's just a beautiful bronzy kind of blush. And this one right here is a cute peach and coral combo. But recently, for the holidays, he came out with a blush palette. And this is just something out of my dreams. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. I'm wearing the middle too. So I put on the cream first and a little bit of the powder on top. But with this formula, it's really interesting because he actually recommends you putting the powder on first, then tapping some of the cream on top with a sponge. That always kind of scares me. I always do the opposite just because I want my makeup to turn out good that day, but it's crazy that this formula is able to do that because it just goes against everything that we were told about makeup. Like, you always want to apply your creams before adding any powder. It's just interesting, but applying it that way really makes the blush stay on and stay put all day. This is 100% the most excited I've ever been for a holiday collection ever. I really wish this was not limited edition. I hope that he actually makes this permanent because it's just like way too good not to be, you know? And you get good sized pans in here. It's just so worth it. And I know it's out of stock right now, but I really hope it restocks before the sale goes live. So now let's move on to eye products. And I think the VIB sales are the perfect time to repurchase the things that are kind of boring to buy, kind of like eye primers or brow products or anything along those lines, whatever you find to be kind of boring. But I wanted to mention my all-time favorite eye primer. You guys already know what it is, but if you're curious, it's the Fenty Beauty eye primer. This is the best, especially if you have very oily eyelids like myself. It just helps to create that waxy barrier between your lids and your eyeshadow look. With this primer, I rarely ever experience any creasing. I've tried so many eye primers, especially this year, just because I want to see if there's anything better than this, and there's truly not. So now I'm going to be mentioning some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes that you can get at Sephora. The first one I'm going to be mentioning is something I always bring up whenever there's a Sephora sale, and that is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. This is still my favorite eyeshadow palette in my collection. You just get so much range in one palette. You get three main tonal groups. You get your cools, your warms, and these more pinky red based shadows, and it will suit any trend, and the formula is unbeatable. And if you can save a little bit of money on this one, why not? This is yet another collection staple for me. And I'm going to mention some other very pricey palettes here. These are the Pat McGrath ones that I enjoy the most. But before I share my two favorites, if you're going to be investing in a Pat McGrath palette, I want you to love the color story to bits. I want you to see yourself actually wearing those colors on a weekly basis. Since you're going to be spending so much money on a palette, I want you to wear it and love it to bits. But if you're asking me what my two favorite palettes are, it's these two. So the first one here is the Bronze Seduction palette. I bought this one so many years ago, but it still remains one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. I just love the vast variety of textures you get in here and shades, and they're just so nice to work with. Whenever you play with Pat McGrath shadows, you always get something unique and different that you can't get anywhere else. I just love layering all these textures on top of one another. Her palettes truly make me re-fall in love with makeup every time I use them. So this one is my number one favorite. And my number two favorite is the Utopian Dreams palette, which is just so beautiful. I thought it was mostly like a pink palette, but in the shimmers, they all have these really interesting shifts to them. You get some greens, some blues, some yellows, some oranges. It's really, really cool. I could just stare at this all day. I just caught myself staring at this in the monitor here for a while, like a moth in a lamp. Those are my two favorite Pat McGrath palettes, the ones that I find to be the most worth it for my preferences. And the last eyeshadow palette I wanted to talk about today is the one that's actually on my eyes, and it's the Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. I love this one. I will say that the shades aren't very unique, like we've seen these colors time and time again, but it's the formula and versatility that keeps me reaching for this palette. I love the addition of these two creams, and they're truly some of the easiest cream shadows to work with. Stay open. I use them to create the smoky eyeliner I'm wearing today. And also these shimmer shades are kind of more mature shimmers. They're more toppers than like a really metallic, heavy shimmer shadow. I like reaching for toppers more so than full-on shimmer metallics these days. I think they're easier to pull off on the everyday, and I like how they look kind of glossy when the light hits them. And also these mattes in here are some of the most user-friendly mattes that I've worked with in a long time. They just diffuse themselves pretty much with a couple of strokes. So if you're looking for a good new warm palette, look no further. This one is fantastic. So now I'm going to be talking about my favorite eyeliners. These are my all-time favorite pencil eyeliners. They're the Makeup by Mario Master Pigment Pro pencils. I have all of the shades here, but my top favorites are Soft Brown and Perfect Brown. But he also has funner colors as well, like this deep blue and this plummy purple. But you can wear those ones and they don't look too crazy for the everyday. They're mostly there to amplify your eye color. But besides the beautiful shades, this one's formula is insane. It's my favorite all-around pencil. It performs beautifully in the waterline. You can also blend them out to look like a cream shadow. It has enough blendability and work time to do so. It's also really easy to apply with another brush to create sharper eyeliners. I'm going to be repurchasing a Soft Brown because this is getting pretty nubby. And my other eyeliner I wanted to mention is this one from Fenty Beauty. It's the Flying Liner in the shade in Big Truffle. This has been one of my go-to eyeliners as of late. It's such a beautiful shade, and you don't see these kind of colors in liquid liners often. It's such a soft, warm brown. It's very unique and it has such a long wear time. You can even shed a few tears and it's not going to budge. Now let's move on to mascaras. I have two here to talk about. The first one is of course the Rare Beauty mascara. This is my all-time favorite mascara. It has all of the qualities I look for in a mascara. It's very quick, it's volumizing, it's lengthening, it's long wearing, it doesn't crumble or smudge. It just does it all. I actually even prefer this one over the Marc Jacobs At Lashed. I used the At Lashed a couple times this week and I felt like I was missing a little oomph that this one has, which is good news because I don't think the Marc Jacobs At Lashed mascara is available anymore. So thank goodness I have found a replacement really quickly. So I highly, highly, highly recommend you checking out this mascara. It's a great one. And the other mascara I wanted to mention is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I've entered another phase with this one. I haven't used this one in a while, but I recently reintroduced myself to it and it's so good. I forgot how good it was. I love this one's brush because you get a bunch of brushes around it, so you can comb the product through and get whatever lash look you desire. You can get more of a lengthened look or a volumized look depending on how you apply it. And this one's long wearing as well. It doesn't smudge or flake, and this one performs really nicely on the lower lashes as well. So it's another great all-in-one mascara. So that's it for the eyes. Now let's move on to my favorite lip products. I have a couple of lip liner formulas I wanted to highlight. The first ones here are the Melt Makeup Perfectionist Lip Pencils. I love the range of colors that they came out with, but the formula is fantastic. It just glides right over and deposits the perfect amount of pigment. I really like how these ones are in a classic wood pencil. There's just something kind of nostalgic about them, but they perform so beautifully. And I love how you can get a variety of looks with these ones. You can get kind of a more diffused lip line if you want, or you can really sculpt your lips to get a sharp, sharp edge. But I just love the tones that they came out with. My favorites have been Bear, Cinnamon, and Cashmere. I haven't really used the other shades yet, but those have been my go-tos. I really hope that they bring back some of their older, funner shades in this formula and packaging, because that would just be a dream. Another lip liner formula that I adore is the Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. I was really not a fan of the original lip contours. I found them to be very dry and kind of flaky, but this is the opposite of what those ones were. These glide on so beautifully. My favorite shade is Honey Beige. I'm actually wearing it on the perimeter of my lips today. I love its packaging because it's mechanical, so you can scroll up instead of you having the need to use a sharpener. It also has a little sharpener at the butt of the pencil if you want to get more of a precise application. I look at these ones kind of like the more full glam version of the M Cosmetics lip liners. They add a bit more pigment than the M Cosmetics ones do. I really like the range that she came out with. They're just perfect nude pencils that you want to reach for on the everyday. And the last lip pencil I had to mention is the Makeup Forever Anywhere Caffeine Lip Liner. But this is a really unique pencil because you can actually use this in a multitude of ways. You can use them on the eyes as well. I have only used this one around my lips. I haven't tried it on my eyes, but I should. I feel like I might like that color. But I am looking at purchasing a few more shades this sale. I'm looking at Endless Cacao and Wherever Walnut. I think those are needs. But this is yet another amazing lip liner formula, very creamy and effortless to glide around the perimeter of your lips. It just does what it's supposed to do flawlessly, and it's such a great color. It's one of my staple lip liners that I reach for. So the only lipsticks I'm going to be recommending this sale are these ones from NARS and they're now permanent, so thank goodness for that. But ever since these came into my life, I haven't been reaching for anything else. I just have whatever I'm feeling like in this little range. My favorite shades are Intimate and Brief Encounter. Those two live in my purse, but I love these ones formula because they're a soft matte tinted lip balm. So they blur out your lips no matter how dry they are looking, but they also hydrate them while looking matte. It's just like so many things that you wouldn't think would work together, but it does. They're just beautiful through and through, and I'm so happy they're here to stay. Now all I want is more shades, please. And now I have two glosses that I wanted to mention. The first one is the Kosas Wet Lip Oil. I love this formula so much. The one I reach for the most is Jellyfish, which is their clear version, but they also have some tinted ones that are lovely as well. It's very hydrating and thin wearing on your lips, and it's also perfect for every day. Like, it adds a ton of glow to your lips, but it's nothing too crazy or dramatic. It's my go-to everyday gloss. Plus the packaging is just so freaking cute. I love how it looks like a little wave or something. I don't know, it's very appealing. And the last glosses I had to recommend, and I feel like it wouldn't be a recommendation video without them, it's the Tower 28 glosses. These ones are my favorite if I want more of a dramatic lip gloss look, because they add such a pillowy look to your lips. They fill in all of the lip lines and really make your lips look super juicy and full. These ones are my 4 favorite shades. So the clear one is a for sure fave. It's the most versatile too. You can apply it onto anything or nothing at all. The other shades that I really like are Spicy, which is this beautiful sheer red, Coconut, which is this really cute pink, and Cashew, which is a nice everyday nudie brown kind of color. These ones are also really nice to reach for if you have parched lips. They kind of act like a lip treatment as well. They feel very nourishing and hydrating, and I feel like they do a really great job at softening the texture and roughness of my lips. But that's all of the makeup recommendations I have. I also wanted to take a moment to highlight some of the sets. I don't have them with me, but I'll just input the photos of each one on screen so you can see them. So the first one here is the First Aid Beauty Your Future Looks Fab gift set. So you get all of these incredible products from First Aid Beauty, some of my all-time favorites. So you get the face cleanser, which I adore, the Ultra Repair Cream, the Eye Duty Niacinamide Brightening Cream, and the Facial Radiance Pads, and of course, the star of the show, the Bump Eraser. The only sample sizes that you get in here are the Bump Eraser and the Eye Duty Niacinamide Brightening Cream. Otherwise, you get full sizes of the other 3 products, which is such a crazy good deal. I can't even believe it. The second holiday set that really intrigued me is this one from Rare Beauty. It's the Mini Soft Pinch Liquid Blush Trio. You get 3 blushes, 1 previous shade and 2 new ones, and they're such cute little baby bottles. They're so cute, but I also think it's a great deal. And on top of that, with the VIB discount. Like, hello? That's amazing. And then this one here, I might have to get myself, even though I already have backups of the clear gloss, but this is the Tower 28 Shine On Iced Latte Lip Jelly Duo. This is a set of 2 glosses, so you get the clear one and a new shade, which is so beautiful. They posted a swatch of it beside Almond and Cashew. I'll input that photo as well so you can see. Oh, it's beautiful. And I also like how they changed the writing on the clear one to match the color of the chestnut gloss. It's a cute detail that I appreciate dearly. And the second to last set that really intrigued me is this one from Milk Makeup. It's the Disco Days Hydro Grip Prime and Set Duo. So you get a full-size Hydro Grip face primer and a mini size of the Hydro Grip face spray, which is so great to have in your purse if you need to refresh your face and add some longevity. It's just a great deal. And the last one here is the Caudalie Vino Perfect Dark Spot Brightening Value Set. So this one you get a mini of the Vino Perfect Glycolic Essence, which I do really enjoy. You get a full size of the Vino Perfect Serum and a mini of the Vino Perfect Brightening Glycolic Night Cream that I just talked about earlier. And that's the last one that really caught my attention, but if I find any more, I'll link them down below as well. But I think that is all that I had to recommend for you guys. I say all, but that was a lot. That was hefty, but those are all of my favorite things right now. Let me know what you're planning on picking up. I would love to know. And also let me know if you'd like to see like a shop with me or something along those lines. I will for sure be doing a haul and try on once I get the products I'm going to be purchasing. But I think that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out so very much. I will link every single thing I mentioned in today's video in the description down below, so please check that out. And I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.